This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey.
Insert Democrat socialist here.
Runs the Democratic House floor for 30 plus years running. He's promising this and he's stealing that. Where can you get that kind of money? He's using your house like his own piggy bank. You ought to know by now. You can pay off your house here in Illinois, but you can never keep up with the taxes. Oh, how it's always been the plan to have a taxpayer pay, no doubt. Not a matter of if anymore, but when you're moving out.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. That's theme music. Means it's time for our weekly confab with Ted Dabrowski, president at Wirepoints.com, all things Illinois policy related. Ted, let's begin today just with a quick down and dirty tutorial on gas prices in Chicagoland and Illinois generally. The breakout, so people can be reminded now that they're paying attention to the price at the pump, just how Illinois taxes gas, and how Illinois is one of just a handful of states that taxes the tax on gas, I should say.
Yeah, we like to put a tax on the taxes. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Layer the taxes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the first thing you have, okay, we all in every state we pay the federal taxes, motor fuel taxes, 18 cents roughly across the country. So we're all equal on that. But after that, Illinois has a motor fuel tax, which used to be 19 cents before Governor Pritzker came on, and he doubled it to 38 cents. So that's the big tax. Then we also have a sales tax on gasoline. So as the price of gasoline goes up, guess what? Your taxes go up. And we don't tax the Illinois motor fuel tax, but we do tax the federal part of the taxes. So we tax the tax. Then you've got, in Chicago, you got some additional city taxes. A lot of cities have some additional city taxes. So we end up, when you pile up all those taxes, we end up around 80 cents per gallon in taxation. That is the second most in the country, second only to California.
It's about, in normal times before this recent spike, but it still increases, as you're mentioning, the sales tax on the federal portion. About a quarter of what you pay at the pump in Chicago is taxes.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal. We're paying 72 cents more than Missouri per gallon. I mean, think about that. Just per gallon, if you just cross the border, of course this is on average, so you have to find the right places, but 72 cents less in Missouri, something like 52 cents less in Wisconsin, same thing in Kentucky. I mean, it's a ripoff here. I guess it's the only way I can put it. It's a ripoff. And so why do you see so many people crossing the border to buy their gas? Because you save a ton of money.
Well, but didn't Pritzker freeze the gas tax? So he doubled it first and then froze it?
Yeah, right. No,
wasn't that his gift to us, to show that he cares?
Yeah.
Because I can't remember the last time he filled up his own personal tank with gas because he's got drivers.
Well, remember now, so there was one more component
for the Southside Irish Parade. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, there's one more component I didn't mention. They also, in that when they doubled it from 19 to 38 cents, they also said that motor fuel part will go up with inflation each year. And so there's automatic gas tax hikes each year. That's the one that Pritzker proposes to freeze, which would increase gas prices by 2 to 3 cents in June or July. So he's freezing that one, but that has nothing to do with all the increases and the fact that we pay the second highest taxes in the country.
Speaking of crossing the borders, Allied Van's Zillow study comes out, and we find that 113,000 Illinoisans crossed the borders of the state permanently. They left Illinois, 113,000. The eighth year in a row, Illinois has lost population. The only state in the Midwest to lose more than 100,000 in population, July of 20 to July of 2021. People just, it's interesting. So many people that are former Illinois residents just don't get how well things are going here.
Yeah, they're missing out on it. No, we hear from people all the time who are out, and it's kind of sad, but they always celebrate. You can go on websites and say, "Hey, I left Illinois. I'm so glad I'm free." And it's sad, right? Because that's not the state that we want, and certainly, if you want people to leave, well, it's because they find an opportunity elsewhere, but not because they're fleeing Illinois. But sadly, every piece of data, everything, like you said, the Allied van lines, the population loss, 114,000 last year. That's number 2 in the country. We keep losing people faster than everybody else virtually.
Mm-hmm. And also who we're losing, and, the not one for one, but who is coming in. I mean, I remember the work you've done previously on this. This is an important sub point here, which is you're losing top income earners. This was, the people leaving, top 20%. The people coming in, it's not disparaging anybody, but you're just losing a lot of economic capacity and wealth creation. The gap used to be the largest in the nation, $20,000 difference in terms of median salary between the people leaving versus the people coming in.
Well, that's precisely right. I mean, it's one thing to lose people. Even if you broke even, you don't want to be trading people that make more money for people that make less. Only because your tax base is shrinking. And a lot of times, if you're losing your big earners, well, you're losing your entrepreneurs or your investors, people who hire people for other jobs. So this has been the big problem. And Dan, Amy, Wirepoints, we went through all the IRS data. They're the ones that know where you moved to, where you moved from, how much money you make, how big your family is. So you can really track, which states are winning people and their money and which states are losing people and their money. And when we went through it, we looked at every age group, the major age group categories. We looked at every major income category, and in every single one, we lost more people on net than we gained from other states. And not only that, then you add in the layer that in the people we did lose made more money than the people we made. It's a formula for disaster, which is why we shrunk. We were only one of 3 states in the country to shrink in the decade from 2010 to 2020.
So in response to that, they got a good idea down there in Springfield, impose a de facto increase in payroll taxes on employers. Yeah,
so this is the other big thing. One of the things that got blown away when we did all these lockdowns, when Governor Pritzker and other governors across the country locked down their economies, people went unemployed. And so our unemployment insurance fund, which is what the state runs to pay people benefits while they're unemployed, well, it just got blown out of the water. It lost money. And so we ended up in Illinois borrowing $4.5 billion from the federal government. Well, we haven't repaid that back. We're one of 9 states not to repay. Most states use their federal COVID aid to repay that. Well, guess what we didn't do? Well, we didn't pay it back, and so we still owe that amount. And there's a big debate about how to repay that debt. We should use the remaining part of the federal COVID aid we got. There's $3.5 billion that Pritzker hasn't used. He should use every penny of that to pay that down. But others want to put the tax burden on employers, make them pay it back, which of course would mean more jobs lost.
And more companies are going to fold, don't you think?
Well, they fold, or they just don't. They stop investing here. They keep doing more in Indiana and other places. I mean, you look at the Indiana unemployment rate right now. It is half of what it is in Illinois. Illinois' unemployment rate is 5%. Indiana's is 2.4%. So, if we had that same unemployment rate, we'd have 160,000 more workers working today in Illinois. Think about it. It's 160,000 jobs. That's massive.
Mm. But again, you're talking about debts, unemployment insurance debt that we have. And I recall the governor's State of the State address where he talked about how he balanced the budget without having to access any of the COVID funds that Illinois received.
Well, sadly, that's one of the big lies in Illinois. We always balance budgets, but we always have more and more debt. And here's a perfect example of this. Andy Menard, one of the spokes guys for Pritzker, Governor Pritzker, they're all celebrating balanced budgets and all that. And here you go, $4.5 billion and no plan on how to pay it back. And they won't even use the federal aid. I mean, they should have done that. The state got $8.1 billion in federal aid from the federal government. They should have used every penny of that to pay back this debt, and they didn't. They spent it on other stuff, programs.
Because it's an election year.
That's right. You can see every few days, Governor Pritzker announces some big spending program that he's, $50 million here, $20 million there, and to me, they look a lot like just campaign announcements.
He is Ted Dabrowski, president of Wirepoints, wirepoints.com, all things Illinois policy related. Ted, thanks as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
To Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
When you invest in a home improvement project, you want to know the job is done right the first time. The saying goes, you get what you pay for. And the team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design and Lots Custom Carpentry couldn't agree more. Don't pay for the same job twice. Choose quality. And then when you step into your outdoor oasis, you just need to say, there's no place like home. The designers at AM Woodland Outdoor Design and Lots